Hi, I'm Jay Skinner, and this is the Buyers and Sellers Show. We're live. It's Friday night here in Indianapolis, and it's a redo of the show I did this morning because the sound wasn't quite right, and I wanted to get it just right because this is an important topic, and I want to make sure you get it. And I really think I'm going to have some people from Asia and Australia here with me tonight. What is south side of Chicago? It's the baddest part of town. And if you go down there, you better just beware of a man named Leroy Brown. A Leroy, more than trouble. You see, he stand about 6'4". All the downtown ladies call him treetop lover. The men just call him sir. And it's bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole darn town. Badder than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. Oh, I'm Jay Skinner, and this is the Buyers and Sellers Show. Call it the pre-show. I'm glad you're here. Give everybody a chance to get on. Well, Friday, about a week ago, Leroy was shooting dice. At the edge of the bar sat a girl named Doris, and ooh, that girl looked nice. Well, he cast his eyes upon her, and the trouble soon began. Leroy learned his lesson about messing with the wife of a jealous man. Well, there's bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole darn town. Badder than old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard, meaner than a junkyard, meaner than a junkyard dog. Hey, Leroy Brown, and we're live. I'm Jay Skinner, and welcome to the Buyers and Sellers Show every Friday morning at 10:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today's a special one. And for those of you that showed up in the morning, this is a repeat version because I checked the sound on it and I just wasn't happy with the upload. And what had to do with is I think the storms here in the United States were creating some problems with the wires. And so I have tremendous internet download, but my upload was around 2, and that was just not good enough to give the quality of sound that you deserve. So the topic today is 10 steps towards new software program implementation finding. And we're going to talk about that situation that many businesses are in, and they have to go through. And it's like, how do you do it successfully? Now, remember, you want to do unto your vendors as you want your customers to do unto you. That's the silver rule. And I hope you'll obey that because it works. It's the best way. That's the silver rule. And one of the important things here at the Buyers and Sellers Show. And of course, if you make a comment here and your name and picture don't show up right, you can go streamyard.com/Facebook. We're live right now on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And if you happen to be watching anywhere in the world, you can just type in the comment section and I'll see it and I'll answer your questions. We'll talk, and I'd love to hear your comments about this very topic. Of course, as we're working and talking together, you can always get in touch with me. And probably the easiest way is just go to thejayskinner.com, and there's a tab on there, and there's a contact tab, and if you want to see all the shows and all the different topics, please just go there, click on the tab. It'll take you right where you want to go, and it'll be great. While we're talking here, I just know that there'll be people, especially because this is morning time on Saturday in Asia. Somebody's going to get up and say, "Oh, my friend Jay is there." And if you are, please take a minute to comment and say hi. Just, I'll right here. Say hi right here. Woo. VJSkinner.com. And I'm going to put that in here because I would love for you to, of course, find me on the internet, but also just comment. I want to hear what you have to say. How cool is it? I don't broadcast at night too much from here. Wouldn't it be neat if I found out there was a huge audience and in on the other side of the world that wanted to hear this, and I'd start doing that. Wouldn't that be cool? That would be very cool. And you can see this is kind of what it looks like when, it's like I just post it right up there and you can get on and it would be on the channel that you're in perhaps. If you don't see it, find the chat area, try to chat to me, and do let me know if it's not working somewhere along the line. Moving right along, this single structural business system improvement. Changing software from an old legacy system is what they call it. Maybe you installed a custom program that was a kind of a CRM, a contact relationship manager, and a business manager or something helped organize your company and what you do. And it was a custom program 5 or 10 years ago. And you realize now that that custom program is not really going to do the job for you long term. Well, there's some steps here that I suggest that you take in the transition so that it becomes something that really does awesome things for you. I'd say if this single business system improvement positions you to double, triple, or quadruple your business and allows you to support your customers and distributors like never before and deliver world-class what? Service, world-class products, world-class persona, then you should be doing it. But if it's not going to deliver that, in other words, don't shoot blanks. Investments in computer programs that are unnecessary and unneeded to grow your business and help make it a better place for you and your customers is like shooting blanks. It's a waste of money and time. So please make sure that whatever it is you're thinking about doing really has value. Now, one of the valuable things about these is if you have a custom program that was written a number of years ago, and maybe the custom program writer is nowhere to be found any longer, or you just understand that everybody is going to either die, retire, quit, get fired, or become disabled. I mean, this happens to everybody. And so if you're reliant upon one individual who is really the only person that understands how your program works and can fix it, or if it's a program that's reliant on a number of different other softwares that have periodic updates and things, an update could actually crash your program and the original programming, then you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable in many ways. That alone becomes a defensive measure to prevent hurting your company. But it can be an offensive measure because what if you are in the situation where, as you think about getting more business, there's a part of you that goes, I'm not sure we can handle it administratively, or we can, but it'll kill us. It's terrible. Well, this is when maybe you need a new administrative software program that's made for what you do and will put you in a position so that it's not a pressure thing when the new business comes. Number one, 10 steps. I promised you 10 steps, didn't I? Number one, hire someone to guide you through the process who has a handle on all aspects of business and can understand your business and liaison between you and software vendors, and you being the business owner, the president, the whoever's in charge of everything here. you need to find someone that knows all aspects of the business and can set up right there in your office next to you or be very close to you and understand your company and work on your behalf. Because probably you, as the business owner or the president or the CEO, know more about the company than anybody else. And you're also the busiest person there. And the idea of getting into a program like this on your own and guiding it through is just daunting. It's like you don't even have time. You can't afford to do it. You can't afford not to do it. But if you bring in someone, and that someone needs to vet options and then ultimately bring only the high priority options to you in the form of vendor presentations and recommendations. And you also needs to be the management team and people, not just in management, but people actually using and working the software. And sometimes that's not management. That's salespeople in the front lines out there working the CRM. That's operations people in the plant or factory. That's people in the finance department. And so a multidisciplinary team of people need to be brought into the process. And that CEO extender, probably for lack of a better word, and it actually is what I call myself, the CEO extender is an extension of you as the person that should or could be running this program but doesn't have enough time. And you want them to come in. They have the bandwidth from a timing standpoint to be able to do it. They also have the business experience. They understand your stockholders, your partners. You can trust them with everything about the business, the financials, the IT department, the accounting department, the sales department, the marketing department, manufacturing. And they need to be made aware of all the issues and all the reasons why you think you need to make a change. And then that individual, that CEO extender, that special someone that can come in on your behalf and run this project for you will do things to get it done for you in a way that's collaborative, that everyone feels like they've had a hand in it, and they really have. And then they'll be able to okay or not okay and explain why there's a problem. Do you remember the idea of systems analyst? Years ago, I don't hear that name very often anymore. But back when I was in computer school, it's because I do computers and things like that too. I've been doing them ever since they were invented. There was a position in all companies and called the systems analyst, and that was like the one computer guy that understood both programming and how people thought and worked, and could work throughout the entire business to understand everybody's application, so that when you wrote that Fortran or COBOL program, that it would be just right and meet everybody's needs. Well, this position is very similar to a systems analyst, and it has to be a very, very trusted individual. And I said you very likely don't have someone in your organization that can do that, that has the time that must be invested in making this happen. Number 3 is you need to pick customizable but out-of-the-box solutions instead of custom solutions. This is one of the areas where we all got in trouble. In 1980, somewhere around there, I wrote my own CRM, my own contact relationship manager for watching my taking care of my sales, my customers, because I could no longer use 3x5 cards and recipe box to manage it, because if you want to sell in volume, you need to be able to prospect in volume and present in volume and close in volume. And I couldn't get enough 3x5 cards in the box and manage it appropriately. So I wrote my own program using Symantec's Q&A, which was in DOS at the time, and had artificial intelligence, believe it or not. I'd type in a question and would bring me the contacts that matched the criteria, and I didn't have to use special code or anything, but I had to program it, and that's where I got my 10,000 hours. Anyway, that was beautiful, but nobody else on earth could ever modify it or change it or do anything else. And that's the same with maybe your program and many other people's programs, that for some reason there was no out-of-the-box program available. might never have been available, or maybe you didn't find it. And so someone else wrote the program and designed something that worked for you up to this point. But if he goes away or is unavailable and something goes wrong, you're in trouble. So I recommend that you get it out of the box. And I don't mean like we're thinking out of the box, but I mean you can buy it commercially, and it has aspects that are tailorable to your situation. You can change field names and adjust different things and add little pieces, and it has plugins, and maybe it'll interface with your accounting system and different things like that. But get something that's made for your business, your industry, and your processes, so that 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years from now, that program is still in place, is progressively being updated every year, and there's always going to be people there to help you with it as time goes on. That's the kind of program that you need instead of a custom made from scratch program. Number 4, narrow down vendors with a transparent approach so they can help guide you to the right solutions, and cull out the vendors who are only self-serving. Now, this is kind of interesting, but a good salesperson is going to be willing to help you, even if it means saying we're not for you and recommending where you go. And you need to fish for those kinds of people and get a group of people, 4 or 5 different companies that might be the right people. And then you, as the CEO extender, you as the person running this program, need to interview these folks, interview all the people at your company as well, and begin to narrow down who might be a good solution. I found that oftentimes I can pull together vendors and include like the president of the company for 1 hour here or 1 hour there to be part of the conversation. But we all agree not to tie everybody else up in the company until we get a solution or a couple of solutions and ideas that look pretty good, and we want to bring the other people in to take a look at it and evaluate what we're finding. And that works pretty well. Then if I've done a good job, or the person running this project has done a good job, you'll do a good job of finding a good potential vendor for this new software, and you won't tie all your people up, which is one of the difficult things about doing a project. Because if you don't do this in a methodical, meticulous way, like the PDT way, product development team, that happens to be the name of my company, product development team, which is a collaborative, meticulous approach to project management, then you go wham, bam, right through it, and mistakes will be made. And there's just no sense in making them. So you have, number 5, have weekly meetings to catch up the team and be sure this someone that you've hired for this, or if it's an inside person that has time, great. As long as they have the bandwidth and the know-how and the knowledge from top to bottom, and they are a confidant of the president and owner, so that nothing gets missed. Weekly meetings with the whole multidisciplinary team, and be sure that it's collaborative, that there's open and effective communication for both good and bad news. Whoever's running this program needs to just tell you the truth, whatever it is, and not be politically correct about anything. There really isn't room for that. We want to make sure that everybody understands what's going on. Now I see there might be some comments here, and nope, no comments, but there you go. Look at that. Say hi right here, please. I'm looking forward to you jumping in there. I would love to see you be part of the program by your comments. And say it's daytime in Asia, so I bet I'll have some. Anyway, number 6 is make a decision to move now. Procrastination kills momentum and discourages good vendors who are primed at the time of the discussion to make great things happen, and other people in the company and everybody else. So I suggest that you only go into a project like this with agreement with the group. We're going to find somebody and we're going to go. Because if you move up to a spot and then you stop, it's very easy to lose that momentum, discourage the people that are doing it. You may get commitments on the part of vendors and pricing and proposals and things that are good for now, but they're not necessarily good for 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks from now. And the procrastination and putting it off can slow the process down in a bad way. The other thing is that if you are doing this as a defensive measure because you are vulnerable due to a custom program that could go down at any minute if there happened to be a Windows update or an update to some of the software that's integrated in your program, that's terrible, because then all of a sudden you'd be put into a very reactive position and having to do this project without it being well thought out. And that can only be bad. So proactive, get the ball rolling, slow and steady wins the race. That's what I suggest. Number 7, once it's decided who and what to buy, who is important, the people you work with, you need to find people within that organization that you know you can work with that are smart and be able to help you get the job done. That's your vendor. And then what specific product looks like it's going to do the job for you. Then how is super important. And I will tell you that many vendors are kind of all wrapped up in their product and talking about it and understanding it, that the idea of how they're going to roll out the implementation is not so much a part of what they do. And I'll tell you, if you've got 2 different products and these guys have a great delivery system for the products, and these guys just say, well, trust us, we've done this a billion years and it'll be just fine. Man, I want the guys that have a system in place for implementation. But you, as the project manager that represents and works within the company, need to guide it and work arm in arm with that vendor, because they are inclined towards wanting to get things done fast. Well, I hope you don't need it done that fast, because I want you to take each step. Don't let the vendor be the implementation manager. Work together with them and take each step slowly and methodically so that good things happen and mistakes get caught before they happen. This project implementation coordinator or manager, you, scheduling group meetings, getting answers internally, you are the idea of insulating operations people from getting caught up in the implementation process at an unnecessarily tedious level. A lot of times people just resist doing anything like this because they know, or in their own mind, they just can only imagine how much time it's going to take away from them getting their regular job done. But if you're a project implementation coordinator representing your company, and this is your job to take care of with the vendor, then you insulate the other people in the company from the small little decisions that have to be made along the line and bring them in for the big picture stuff. And that way it just keeps flowing and going. Now, no surprises. That's important. This slow, methodical approach driven by you as the implementation coordinator, working in tandem with the vendor and your multidisciplinary team, will ensure success. That's the project development team approach. Now, I'll show you something from when I did my show on project management. I talked about a couple different ways things go. This is a picture of, well, you see your car's broken down. It's Saturday. You pull it under the shade tree. You ever heard of a shade tree mechanic? And you go to work and you say, oh, I think I need to fix this. And you run down to the auto parts store and you come back and put that on and say, oh, nope, that's not it. Oh, it must be this. And you do that and you go back and forth. And maybe by Sunday it's done, Or like this guy, he's got 2 cars going, and it looks to me like he's been at it for a long time. That's a shade tree mechanic, and that approach is fine at home if you want to do it, but it doesn't work at work. It's more like the science fair. This is where you need to be. Now think about this. Junior high, high school, were you in the science fair? The project management program there, you'd have the question, the hypothesis, the conclusion, the variables, the procedure. You talk about, here's the problem and how I can make it better. And then it was wonderful. It was a step-by-step approach to doing a project and solving a problem. And the only thing different from what I'm asking you to do here with implementing a new software program than science fair in 8th grade is you're not going to have to stand in front of a judge and show them your trifold backdrop like this. But you will have judges, and it's called the rest of the people in the company. You better perform, and that's why you want to take this systematic approach to problem solving so that you can put this on your project completed. How cool is that? How much fun is that? So there's number 8. Number 9, test, 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 test with live data parallel to your current program before switching over. Work out the bugs in advance before turning it on. I've got a saying, I call it, break it before you make it. Break it before you make it. It's like, I want you to eliminate that pressure of, we're rolling the program out next Wednesday. Everybody get ready. And by the time Wednesday's about there, everybody's all keyed up, scared to death. They don't know, is it going to work? What could possibly go wrong? And it's just inviting problems just by nervousness. Product when you're going to turn this thing on, it should be like, by then everybody knows it's going to work. They've already played with it some. They already have gone through their questions and answers. And by the way, as part of the testing program, test, 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 be sure that everybody gets a chance to work on the test database, the test program, and guide them on what you want them to look at. Maybe do a little training with it. I mean, I've been through some programs where they send me a link and say, hey, we're going to roll this out. It's going to turn on next week. Take a look at it and let us know what you think if you see any problems. Are you kidding? The testing phase is huge. And get everybody feeling good about it and fix the problems so that when you do the rollout and you hit that date that's everybody's looking forward to of making the new program work, it's just going to be, boom, no big deal. Success. And then you've got little bugs, of course, to work out along the way. It'd be hard to get them all. Sometimes you might, but as a rule, you didn't get them all, but it won't be anywhere near the trouble that you've had in the past when you take the shade tree mechanic approach to rolling something out. I'm sorry, I don't want to be offensive, but how many times have people said, Lee, got to get this done quick, get it going. Well, we'll take care of that later. And it's like, but have you ever sat in the meeting where that one guy has sat there and said something like this? He said, wouldn't it be less expensive, less time consuming, and less aggravating to fix the problems ahead of time before we deliver the product? How many companies act like they would put something bad out and they'd rather wait till the complaints to fix it? Some people do that externally, and they certainly do it internally. And I'm saying it's not good for your inside customers or your outside customers. Take this methodical approach to problem solving and project management so that your inside customers, which is everybody who works for you, are happy and good things happen. And I certainly hope you're not doing that to your outside customers. If you are, we got something else to talk about. And I know it happens. Number 10, turn on the system. Enjoy the benefits of having done a systematic and well thought out and designed program. Now, those are the 10 steps to successful, highly successful new software program implementation. And I hope the sound came through real good because I really want everybody to hear this and get it. And I said earlier, this is a redo of my broadcast from this morning because the internet was not working right and the sound wasn't what I consider a good quality product. So I'm going to delete all those old ones, and this will become the primary one on this topic. I also want you to know that every Friday morning Eastern time, that's like New York, Indianapolis time, at 10:35, I come on with the Buyers and Sellers Show. That's what you're seeing right here, where we talk about, well, sales, selling, buying, relationships, ethics. Man, so many topics. Go to my playlist and take a look at all the different topics and check them out. Try to keep it at about 30 minutes. And people come on, and especially during the daytime around here, there'll be comments. It's wonderful. So join me for that. And I want to thank you now for going through the 10 steps towards new software implementation. And I hope it was valuable and interesting. And I do want to encourage you right here to, get in touch with me. Think about it. It is far better to work out the problems in advance and put out a quality product or program than to implement something without being well thought out and tested. Corrective action process or product development team? Which would you prefer? I hate going through corrective actions. We will if we have to. I way rather have a product development team approach and have a successful project. Please call me. Remember me. I'm very available. There's my phone number. You can go to my website, thejskinner.com. You can find my information there. But I'd love to talk to you, love to be friends. Anything I can do to help you be more successful. I do a lot of things. I'm the plasticpalletguy.com. I am the CEO extender.com. I am PDT Many things, but the one thing I do and have always done and kind of narrows it down is I'm here to help people be more successful in business and in life. And I'd love to get to know you. Jay Skinner saying, see you next time. Get in touch, and we'll go out with a song. Well, it's outside of Chicago. It's the baddest part of town. And if you go down there, you better just beware of a dude named Leroy Brown. See you next Friday, 10:30 Eastern Time, the Buyers and Sellers Show. And it's bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole darn town. Badder than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard, meaner than a junkyard, meaner than a junkyard dog. Yeah. Thanks for coming. I'll see you next week. Bye now.